Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is Humanity, Child of Nothing, written by me, Valons. We thought them to be pitiful. When humanity first appeared, coming to us from the fringes of our universe, we had little more than pity for the young species. So young, and yet they had no true gods to speak of, none to protect them, no guiding hand to lead them through the long dark beyond their planets. We felt pity, for they would never expand beyond their own galaxy, never feel the warmth of love from a being greater than themselves. Our own god, the venerable silent Yilshivgoth, had too wept when humanity had been discovered. It had been the first true noise uttered by our Lord in eons. At the time, we believed it to be an expression of sorrow for the newest children of the stars, and we held it as a mark of how truly great a loss this was to the humans. We sent messages of greeting, of sorrow, and we told them that we mourned with them. We were not alone in this. The children of Tetaplokta, the Star Shepherd, the Zezebebeb, the First Mother, and the Riolto, the Great Expanse, had all been amongst the first of us to send messages. But eventually, nearly all civilizations within the Universal Order had sent at least a greeting. I imagine, at the time, humanity had been quite alarmed, if not excited, to learn that so much life filled the universe around it. Perhaps it had even felt a tad saddened at the fact that it would likely never be able to reach them. The starless expanse is not to be traveled without aid of the divine, after all. We waited for multiple cycles after the messages were sent, as we figured the humans would need time to learn how to reply through quantum communications. Hardly they responded sooner than we had expected. It was a single message, a single sentence that shocked the universe. "Why are you all apologizing?" That statement, no. The implications. It sent a wave through the Order. Had these children, these heathens, merely forgotten their God, forgotten their Creator? We knew it not to be a simple confusion. Several of the species within the Order had expressly stated their sorrow at humanity losing its God. No, these blasphemous creatures simply forgot they had a God at all. What kind of species could do such a thing? Forgetting the hand that uplifted them, forgetting who watched over them, broke storms and quenched the fires that came for them before they were ready. To say it caused an uproar would be an understatement of the highest order. Within a single kilocycle, a full half of the Universal Order had begun preparations to cross the expanse, to discipline and exterminate these heathenous species. The rest of us were content to simply sit back and wait. Wait for this young species to no longer mar the face of creation. It was our greatest mistake, and our only saving grace. After another kilocycle, the first reports began to come to us from humanity's native galaxy. But it was not what we had expected. Already our suspicions were piqued, and the tension was high. None among us knew why communications had been so greatly delayed. We couldn't fathom humanity posing any sort of threat, especially against the might of over 60 gods that had traveled with the war fleet. What we received dashed our expectations and instilled horror into our very souls. A single image, an image of Tetaplokta, the Star Shepherd, his body blackened with soot, his 1,000 hands all severed from his body, his ichor-like blood spilled in open space. The god's own gravity, the only thing keeping the blood near it. It was the first time in living record any species had even seen a god's blood, and it filled all those present with a deep revulsion. But to see its corpse, countless members went mad at the sight. We cried for answers. We cried at our God to tell us, to explain anything about how this could have happened. We prayed and begged for an answer, and the venerable silence stirred to response. A miraculous event, if one disregarded the circumstances. What we heard was horrid, and I wish that we had never sought the answer. You attacked the children of Azazoth, then so has their father dreamed of reality. Humanity, too, dreams unreality. I cannot save you, my children, for they will unmake us all. By the gods, I wish we never sought to eliminate humanity. Even now, as reports come in of ships crossing the starless expanse, I can feel my connection to my God. I can feel my God dying. And it is our fault. The gods can no longer help us. End of story. Story number 2. The Eldritch Defenders, written by Battlelocks _ Bodies lay motionless, strewn about the streets like so many discarded toys from a toddler's tantrum. Once proud skyscrapers burned, their steel skeletons bared for the world to see. A storm raged, but its fury did nothing to extinguish the fires. Miles down the road, the satellite streamed images of Beast's landing site straight to his monitor. There was nothing there. Only an ashy crater remained. Sir, what do we do? The aide asked, panic threatening to overtake him despite years of training. General Coulson took a long draw of his cigarette. 6 F-22s down, an entire M1 battalion destroyed. Patriot missiles are useless. We're running out of options, son. The aide visibly gulped. The nuclear option? Worse, Coulson said grimly. It's, time. Time for what, sir? General Coulson exhaled slowly, then stubbed the cigarette out on his desk. Summon the old one. Right away, sir. The aide was 2 steps into a run before he stopped and turned around again. What? Did I stutter, son? Summon the damn old one! Coulson's gaze never left the monitor. We have no choice. Sir, is the old one a nuclear launch code, an attack pattern, some EMP or other secret weapon? Finally, Coulson tore his gaze from the monitor. What the hell does it sound like, son? It sounds like you're summoning an eldritch being of great power, but they don't exist, right? Do I look stupid? Coulson said through gritted teeth. No, sir. Do I look like I would ask you to do something that doesn't exist? No, sir. Do I look like I need you to waste my time like this? No, sir. Then go into my damn office and get my damn file labeled the old one, send it down the chain, and get that damn ritual going. It takes a while to awaken, and I don't want to waste any more lives. No, yes, sir. The aide scuttled off, nearly tripping over his own feet. Damn idiot, Coulson muttered, leaning back in his seat. Half an hour later, a circle of 60 soldiers had their weapons trained at a small steel cube in the middle of a half-destroyed street. A series of bizarre bone pylons surrounded them, which was in turn surrounded by a much larger group, who shifted nervously as they watched the group. So, what's the steel cube, sir? The aide asked. Does it contain the old one? Coulson snorted. That cube is just a distraction. Distraction for what? Does the old one like metal? Not for it. For us. Coulson stepped forward. An ear-piercing scream tore through the air. Within 10 seconds, it was joined by another, and then a dozen more, joining together in discordant harmony that was both horrifying and mesmerizing. Half of the 60 soldiers dropped their guns and covered their ears, though the gesture was futile. The other half began to step towards the cube as if desiring to enter it, though it could fit in the palm of their hand. The sky turned black, then white, then disappeared. Objects in the distance began to fade away into static until nothing was left except the group surrounding the bone circle. The aide fell to the ground, panic. What's happening? He cried, barely audible above the screaming. Coulson read the file calmly. Would you have described that first scream as a C sharp or a C? He asked.
What?
Never mind. He flipped the page. Oh, great one, we supplicate before you. Hear us, accept our sacrifice, and answer our plea.
Sacrifice?
The aide asked, horrified. Within a second, the very ground warped to swallow up the 60 soldiers within the bone circle. What do you want? A voice echoed seemingly from everywhere and nowhere, rattling the very brains of the observers. The sound was like a knife scraping perfectly flat obsidian, somehow screeching in yet deeper than the cries of a whale all at once. I'm going to level with you, Chief, General Carlson said, snapping the file shut. We've got ourselves an alien beastie ravaging the planet. Seems like a precursor to an alien invasion, if you ask me, though others think the bastard's the entire invasion. What matter is it to me if humans die? The voice asked. Way I see it, these aliens have their way. We might not be around much longer. Now, I don't know what you think, but I figure a steady source of tasty human souls is a mite better than taking a risk that aliens will even have souls to devour. You get me? The being's deliberation happened in an eternal instant. I see. You would bend your knee to me for protection. It began to laugh. Coulson lit another cigarette. Near enough, he said. We got people aplenty, at least for now. If you step in, we still have plenty. It is an accord. Reality snapped back into place, though the 60 soldiers still remained gone. The city, in the distance, burned.
What now?
The aide asked, slowly regaining his feet.
Where is the old one?
Best you never find out, General Carlson advised. If you see him, you could go insane.
So that was real? You really offered the souls of Earth in exchange for protection?
Coulson snorted. Of course not. Once the old one gets too big for his britches, we summon the ancient one.
The ancient one?
Son, there's something important you need to learn to succeed at this job. Coulson flicked his cigarette to the wet pavement below and pulled out a cigar. There is always a bigger fish. End of story. I would quickly like to thank our Tier 5 patrons, Dragzoon WRE, Quantum Wednesday, Ambrose Catal, Lord Ashrakal, Bushmaster 177, Casper Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, and Arcadian. Thank you very much.